Hello, welcome to RBI classes. So now I'll be taking up some of the theoretical concept but which are based on the bond. Okay, means if I'm giving you an example A and B. Okay, rather than taking here it as A, I will take the example of it Facebook. Okay, now Facebook issuing a bond. Facebook issuing a bond and Mr. B is giving money to Facebook. So now you have to see who will be in the powerful stake. Facebook is at the driving seat because he can take the money and run away. So who will be at the loss means at every point of chance B will be at the loss. So now we have to create something so that we can safeguard the interest of Mr. B who is giving the money to Facebook, and that's why we have a particular documentation. Okay, that particular documentation is known as a trust deed. Basic particular documentation is known as a trust deed, but in USA and Canada this trust deed also known as the bond indenture. So these are basically a written document which are there to protect the rights of Mr. B, that Facebook cannot just use the money which is given by the B and at the time of the maturity he won't give. Okay, so there are rules and regulation that the Facebook have to follow. So now if this is a trust deed, it will include some of the points. Okay, it will include some of the points which are in favor of the Mr. B. Okay, now suppose I'm not just going directly into the theory, just giving an idea. Mr. A or Mr. B giving the money to Facebook. Okay, now Facebook is considered to be the safest haven. Okay, why is it so? Because they have the good quality of asset. Now when A gave the money to Facebook, A put something as a collateral. A put something as the collateral. Suppose he put his computer system as the collateral, that in case if Facebook will default on the money, then how A is going to get the money? Then A will get the money from this collateral, means A will sell this computer and he will collect his money. So there will be some points regarding the collateral. Okay, because this collateral is very important from the point of view of the A. This collateral is very important from the point of view of A, because in case he is not going to get the money, he is going to liquidate this collateral, this computer. Now what can be the points? Okay, without just going into the mind, just one point. If he is again giving, if he is taking the loan, Facebook is now taking the loan from B, Facebook is now taking the loan from C. So first point will be that this computer cannot be collateralized again until and unless A will get his money. Means after A will releases this collateral, then Facebook can use this as a collateral again. But once this computer are placed, okay, once this computer are collateralized, okay, then you cannot collateralize it again until and unless the tenure of the bond will be done. Clear? So now you can just write down one line. Write it down. The indenture. Okay, what is bond indenture? It is nothing but the trust deed. Okay, indenture from the United States and the Canada's point of view. The indenture defines the obligation. Now the word obligation means what? You have to do it. Okay, the indenture defines the obligation of and restriction on the borrower. The word borrower means the Facebook. Okay, there will be some restriction on it, there will be some obligation from the point of view of the Facebook. Okay, so on Facebook there are few of the obligation, on Facebook there are some restrictions. So the indenture defines the obligations of and restriction on the borrower and forms the basis for all future transaction between the bondholders and the issuer. Between the bondholder and the issuer means whatever the transaction will take place between the bondholder, Mr. A or B, and the Facebook, whatever there will be transaction that will be take place on the basis of the points given in the trust deed or the bond indenture. Now there are many things written in the bond indenture. Okay, so these are nothing but the provisions, these are nothing but the provisions. And what is the legal term for these provisions is covenants. What is the legal term used is the covenants. Okay, means if there is suppose one point that the Facebook cannot use the computer again as a collateral because they are already stated as the collateral, so this is a one collateral. Clear? Are you getting my point? Second, they have to maintain the debt to asset ratio. Debt to asset ratio, they will not increase their debt to a very high level. Okay, there will be a particular level beyond which the debt cannot be increased. Okay, because the more and more debt will be on an organization, the higher the risk inside the company, and higher the risk if there, then who is going to suffer? A and B, those who have provided the loan earlier based on the fact that the company is safe. But now if company is borrowing too much of money, then there is a high leverage, and high leverage means high amount of risk. Now covenants are basically two types. One is the negative covenants and one is the positive covenants. Now when I am saying the negative covenants, these are the basically the prohibition on the borrowers. Okay, these are the provisions, these are the covenants which are stopping the Facebook to do something. Means these are the points which Facebook cannot do. Okay, but the positive covenants are something which the Facebook can do. Means you cannot stop them from doing this thing, but yes, Facebook should not do this because these are included in the negative covenants. Now what can be the negative covenants? I am just giving you the few of the example. Suppose I was talking about the computer which they have put as the collateral. Now you cannot sell this computer, means you cannot sell the assets which you have pledged as a collateral. Clear? Next, you cannot again put the same computer on pledge. You cannot put the same computer on pledge. You cannot borrow additional amount of money. Okay, until and unless you met the financial conditions. Until and unless you met the financial conditions. Now what can be the financial condition? Your debt to equity ratio. Say if I am saying your debt to equity ratio should not be greater than 2. Okay, if you want to borrow some money, provide some equity. Clear? So these negative covenants are basically to protect the interest of the bondholders and making sure that the firm, those who are issuing the bond, will not increase the risk of default. Now what is the need for this positive covenant? Because see, if you will protect, if you will always make sure that company will not take the risk, then how you will get the return? Okay, so there must be some possibilities. Okay, it should not be so much restricted that the particular business will not be able to take the advantages of the opportunities that are available to him. So we need to provide some kind of flexibility that they can enjoy any upcoming opportunity, they can grab the upcoming opportunity and can utilize it to earn the positive NPV. So now what can be the points here? The points is that the Facebook, the issuer need to make the timely payment, okay, whether it is the interest or whether it is the principal payment. They need to insure, okay, they can insure their assets, means they can purchase the insurance for the assets. Apart from this, they can maintain the assets, okay, means whatever the necessary things to maintain the assets, they must do it. They must apply with the applicable laws, rules and regulations. So all those things are written inside the positive covenants. So my last point was rules and regulations, okay. Now this rules, regulations, okay, it is completely dependent on where you are issuing your bond, okay, and where they are traded. So suppose if you are issuing your bond in USA, you have to follow the rules and regulation of USA. If you are issuing your bond in UK, you have to follow the rules and regulation of UK. If you are issuing your bond in Japan, you have to follow the rules and regulation of Japan. Now I am just taking an example, say USA, okay, they are issuing a bond, okay. Suppose there is one company, Facebook, and they are issuing the bond. They are already registered in the USA and they are issuing the bond which is denominated in the US dollars, means the currency in which the bond issued is the US dollar. Now this bond is known as the domestic bond. This bond is known as the domestic bond. Now there is another bond, that is a foreign bond. Now what is this foreign bond? Suppose I'm talking about a country such as a Zimbabwe, okay, a country Zimbabwe. There is a company, okay, suppose there is an XYZ company and they want to raise the money, okay, but they want to raise money at the very low cost. So if they will raise money from Zimbabwe, the cost of raising the money is quite high because of the high interest rate. But if they will see the US market, the interest rate are very low. So what they will do, they will issue the bond in US. What they will do, they will issue the bond in US, okay, and the currency which is used is the US dollar. This is known as the foreign bond. Again, a company registered in Zimbabwe issuing the bond in US market, and the currency in which the bond issued is also the currency of US. Now why they have to take the currency of US? The reason is that the currency of Zimbabwe is very volatile, okay, and it's so volatile that the US people, those who want to invest in the bond of this company, they can't because of the very high volatility in the currency of Zimbabwe. Clear? Now some of the basic information about the China, that their currency is known as the renminbi, but the basic unit of their currency is yuan. So usually we call the currency of China as yuan, but their real currency name is renminbi. This is their symbol and this is the short form. Clear? Just like we have the symbol for dollar, we have the symbol for rupee, so we call it as USD, we call it as INR. Clear? So this is the basic idea. Now why I told you this, because now I am going to talk about a foreign bond, that is a panda bond. Now what is this panda bond and why I am saying this foreign bond? The reason is that this bond issued by the firm outside China. This is the bond issued by the firms outside China, but the bond is trading in China and it is denominated in yuan. This bond is denominated in yuan. Clear? Similarly, we have a Yankee bond. Okay, now what is this Yankee bond? These are the bonds which are traded in the US market denominated in dollars, but these bonds are issued by the firm outside India, sorry, outside USA. These are the firm which are not in USA, but they are issuing the bond in USA denominated in US dollars, are known as the Yankee bond. So these two are the examples of the foreign bonds. So now if you are issuing the bond in the US, so which rules and regulation you have to follow? Suppose I am talking about, suppose a UK company XYZ Incorporation issuing a bond in US. Okay, UK company XYZ Incorporation issuing a bond in US denominated in US dollars. Now tell me which rules, regulations and the legal requirements they have to follow. Obviously they have to follow the rules and requirements of the US. Clear? Okay, so till now we have discussed basically two kinds of bond. One is the domestic and one is the national. What is the domestic? If a US organization will issue a bond denominated in US, traded in US, known as the domestic. But what is the national bond? The national bond is a company registered in, say, Japan, and they want to issue the bond in US denominated in dollars. This is the national bond. But there is a situation, suppose a company want to issue a bond in Japan but denominated in dollars. A company want to issue a bond in the Japan, means they want that the bond to be traded in Japan, but the currency should be in dollars. Now what will happen? The name of the bond is Euro bonds. The name of the bond is Euro. The name of the bond is Euro bonds. These are also known as the external bonds. Euro bonds are also known as the external bonds. So now you can write down one example for the Euro bonds, then it will be really easy for you to understand. Okay, write down a company XYZ, company XYZ, headquarter in United Kingdom, headquarter in United Kingdom, and they decided to go to Japan to issue bonds. They decided to go to Japan to issue bonds denominated in yen. So never get confused in the foreign bonds and the Euro bonds. Foreign bonds, okay, and Euro bonds. Foreign bond, wherever they will trade in the same currency. Means if they are trading in US market, then they will be denominated in dollars. If they are trading in Indian market, they will be trading in rupee. If they are trading in China, they will be trading in yuan. If they are trading in Japan, they will be trading in yen. But what about the Euro bond? If they are trading in Japan, okay, the currency will not be yen. The currency can be dollar, the currency can be yen, currency can be rupee. Okay, the currency will be different from the home currency of Japan. This is our Euro bonds. Now apart from the external bond, they have one more name, that is a global bond. Global bonds. Now I will tell you how to write the name of the Euro bonds. Okay, suppose my bond is trading in dollars. Okay, the currency of my bond is dollar. Now what will be the name of my bond? Okay, Euro will be fixed. Okay, Euro will be fixed. Now Euro dollar bond. Now if I'm saying that the currency of the bond is dollar, so can you say in which of the country this bond will not trade? In which of the country this bond will not trade? Yes, correct. In US, this bond can never trade because this is denominated in dollars. So it cannot trade in the same market. Clear? Now what if I will talk about the yen? If my bond is trading in yen, what will be the name of the bond? Euro yen. And which of the country you can say that the bond will not trade? In Japan, this bond will not trade. Clear? This is the basic idea behind the euro dollar. Now don't get confused with the word euro. Okay, there is a word euro given because this was first introduced in the European market. This kind of bond was first introduced in the European market. So the concept of euro bond was started in way back in 1963. Started in way back in 1963. And who was the issuer? The Otto Strade. You can write it down also. Otto Strade was the issuer of this bond. So basically this is the Italian organization who issued the first euro bond, and that was denominated in dollars. So it was named as euro dollars. Clear? And this bond was issued in Luxembourg. This bond was issued in Luxembourg, one of the country in Western Europe. Clear? So that's why the name given as euro, because it was placed in euro and the currency. Clear? But then after this first part was kept fixed, and only the currency in which it is denominated, it keeps on changing. Okay, so now I am introducing a new term, that is a bearer form. Okay, so you can relate the bearer form with currency. Okay, who will have the currency? Currency will belong to that person. Means if I have $100 in my pocket, that $100 belongs to me. If you have $150 in your pocket, that $150 belongs to you. I cannot say that my name is written on the currency and you have to give it to me. Okay, similarly we have the bonds are also in the bearer form. Means there are no names written on the bonds. Okay, there are no names written on the bonds. So who will be having the documents of the bond will be the actual bearer of the bond. Clear? Means suppose I am giving an example. Facebook issued a bond. Okay, Facebook issued the bond to B, Mr. B, and B gave $100. Now B received one bond certificate. Okay, but in the bond certificate the name of the B was not mentioned. Now B want to receive the interest payment, and at the end B want to receive the principal amount. So now every time B want to receive the interest payment, he need to visit the Facebook office and he need to present the bond certificate, and then only he can receive the interest part. And at the end he need to deposit this certificate with Facebook to receive the principal amount. And most of the people are doing this to avoid the taxes. Most of the people are doing this to avoid the taxes. Clear? So there is the opposite term for the bearer is the registered bond. Okay, now this registered bonds have the name written over the bond certificate. Means if Facebook is going to issue a registered bond to the B, Facebook must write the name of the B on the certificate of bond. Clear? Now just few small things, like if I'm talking about a trust deed. Okay, now what are the information which are necessary in the trust deed? Number one, all the legal information about the entity, those who are issuing the bond. If I am talking about the Facebook, okay, or Google, okay, or Amazon, whoever will be issuing the bond, they must ensure that they will put up all their legal information on the document. Second important point is, whatever the collateral they are putting, okay, whatever the collateral they are putting as a pledge, they must ensure that they will mention that collateral in the document. Now next important point is, any additional features that will increase the probability of repayment. Okay, means, is there any chance that the prepayment will occur before the actual maturity? So must mention that. And the last is all the covenants, whether it is a positive or negative, they also should take part in the trust deed. Clear? So these are the basic information that must be stated in the trust deed. So that much for the lecture. We'll cover remaining topics in the coming lectures. Thank you.